Ever wonder how services like Netflix or Google can handle millions of us all at once and just never seem to crash? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a really powerful shift in thinking, built on this incredible analogy, pets versus cattle. And this is the secret philosophy that powers the reliable digital world we all depend on. So, to really get why this was such a game changer, we gotta rewind a bit. And this quote, man, it just nails what the old world of IT was like. System administrators, or SAs, were in a constant state of stress, always putting out the next fire, which, you can imagine, left them totally overworked and their customers super frustrated. So what was the real root of the problem? Well, it all came down to how they thought about their computers, their servers. Let's call this the PET model, and it was deeply flawed.
Okay, just picture this total nightmare scenario. And this happened all the time. A single hard drive fails, and boom, that's an entire day gone for a system administrator. You're talking physically swapping out the disk, reinstalling the entire operating system, and then just guessing what special software and configs were on it. And while all that was happening, yeah, everything else just stopped.
And that brings us to this really key idea, the snowflake server. See, each one was unique, lovingly hand-built with its own little quirks and special settings. And just like your pet cat or dog, when it got sick, you couldn't just replace it. No, you had to nurse it back to health with all this special, personal care.
So yeah, ultimately, this pet approach was just fundamentally broken. Every single machine was a unique snowflake, which meant any failure was a total catastrophe. We're talking slow, painful, manual repairs. You couldn't scale up easily, and the entire team's focus was constantly getting sucked away to fix the latest broken pet.
But then, a completely new way of thinking started to take hold. A way to finally escape the constant firefighting and build systems that were resilient right from the start. And it's all about thinking in cattle. The idea is deceptively simple, but it is so powerful. Basically, stop treating your servers like they're these unique, cherished pets. Instead, treat them like cattle in a herd. They're all identical, they've got numbers, and, this is the key, they are 100% replaceable. And this is really the core difference right here. With a pet, you spend all this time and energy nursing it back to health. With cattle, if one gets sick, you just replace it. You see, that's the huge mental shift. Instead of trying to scale up one big, fragile machine, you scale out with a massive, resilient herd. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do that? I mean, you can't just snap your fingers and replace a server, right? You need the right tech, and that's where this powerful automation toolkit comes into play. So, modern systems use something called a CI/CD pipeline. Continuous integration, or CI, automatically tests any new code changes. If those tests pass, continuous delivery and deployment, or CD, automatically build the new software and roll it out across the entire herd. The whole thing allows for these constant, super reliable updates with zero human guesswork. Okay, there's a key principle that makes all this automation safe, and it's a bit of a mouthful. It's called idempotency. Yeah, it's a fancy word, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It just means you can run a configuration script over and over and over, and it's only going to make the change it needs to the first time. After that, nothing. It guarantees every server in the herd is always in the exact right state. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates why that kind of robust automation is so critical. See, back in the old pet world, people would make these temporary manual fixes that would then pile up, creating more unique snowflakes and more hidden problems waiting to blow up. The cattle model forces you to build permanent, automated solutions from day one. Okay, so how does this whole philosophy actually translate to the services we're using every single day? And, why should you care? Get this. According to one consultant at a major US bank that was still using the old PET model, it took them 18 months to deploy one new server. 18 months to get one single new machine up and running. So ask yourself this, could your favorite apps survive that kind of delay? Think about it. Could a service that's exploding in popularity wait a year and a half just to add more power? No way. The PET model just completely falls apart at the speed and scale of the modern internet. So here's the modern playbook. First, the servers you actually interact with are stateless, which just means they're all identical and they don't hold any of your unique data. All that personal stuff, the state, gets moved to separate specialized databases.
Then you make tons of copies, or replicas, of everything, and a load balancer just spreads all the traffic evenly across the whole herd. And that is the payoff. When a server fails at Netflix, it's not a crisis. It's not even an event. The system just automatically yanks it from the herd and swaps in an identical replacement. And you, the person watching your show, you don't notice a thing. That's the incredible power of thinking in cattle. So, as we start to wrap up here, it's really important to see this as more than just a tech strategy for servers. This is really about a whole new way of building, well, anything. The pets versus cattle philosophy is a powerful mental model. It's about designing any system to be resilient, scalable, and even anti-fragile, all by choosing identical replaceable parts over those unique, fragile ones. And that leaves us with one final thought. What in your own work, or maybe even in your life, are you treating like a fragile, high-maintenance pet? And what could change if you started treating it less like a pet and more like part of a resilient, scalable herd? Definitely something to think about.